What are your all of this?
Well, I think the firing of Comey couldn't have come soon enough. I think all Americans thought he botched the Clinton email investigation. If you're a Democrat, you thought he did too much to insinuate that she was guilty. And then if you're a Republican, you thought, well, if he insinuated she was guilty, why didn't they prosecute her? So I think both sides were unhappy. And if virtually every American thinks you botched an investigation, maybe that we need somebody else that can bring more confidence to the FBI.
There's no doubt 24 hours ago, everyone, to your point, would have said, hey, this guy's got to go. But fast forward to this morning, and even some of your Senate Republican colleagues are questioning the timing of it.
Well, there's a lot of hypocrisy going around. Chuck Schumer in November said he lost confidence. Hillary Clinton saying that he completely destroyed the whole election. And then you have Eric Holder says that in the letter, indicating his dismissal, Eric Holder says that Comey violated longstanding Department of Justice procedures. So I think you have a lot of people looking at it from the Democrat side who have said they have lost confidence in him. I think you have Republicans saying he should have prosecuted Clinton. Nobody's happy with his tenure at the FBI. So I think it was long past time for him to go.
Of course, this puts a lot of pressure on the replacement. Who's the ideal candidate? Not who do you think it should be per se, but who's the person that you think has sort of rekindled not only the esprit de corps, the FBI, and perhaps the entire intelligence community, but also Main Street America, which obviously is confused at this point and not trusting anyone?
I think a lot of people come from within the FBI, but I don't know that that's an absolute. I do think you want someone with some experience in law enforcement, but I think you also want somebody who knows how to balance civil liberties with law enforcement. One of my concerns with Comey is that he was always up here on the Hill advocating for more power for the FBI. And when I countered that and said, you know what, you could have done a better job investigating the killer in Orlando, the FBI heard about this killer weeks in advance and didn't do enough investigation. Comey would always respond and say, oh, we just need more power to tap more phones of everybody and we'll get enough information to stop this. And my point was they just need to do better police work when someone tips them off. A gun store tipped them off about the Orlando killer and they did virtually zero to investigate it.
Yeah, I think we've seen a similar threat there with a lot of these terrorists who were in the clutches of our law enforcement officials and then, somehow slipped through. But before you go, Senator, I do want to ask, you want the Intelligence Committee to disclose if the Obama administration was actually spying on you. What makes you think that you were possibly a target of President Obama's spying?
We've had two different reporters come to us who say they have sources. And of course, I don't know the sources, so I can't tell if it's true or not. But when I have two different reporters asking me, and telling me they have evidence that it happened, I have the ability to ask. And so I've asked the White House and I've asked the House Intel Committee and I've asked the Senate Intel Committee. There's supposed to be a procedure called a Gates notification. And if someone is listening to someone in Congress in the executive branch, that has a potential great danger to disrupt the freedom of the legislative branch to criticize the executive branch. And if the intelligence community is being used for politics, that is a very, very serious crime because they have so much power to collect. I mean, they have power to collect information, invade your privacy, but also to destroy you. General Flynn, like him or not, agree or not, he was destroyed by an illegal listening, illegal surveillance of his phone conversation. If that's going to go on, can you imagine what would happen to an ordinary citizen if the government's able to listen in on them?
Senator Rand Paul, that's why you've got so many fans from coast to coast, and we appreciate you taking out the time this morning.
Thank you.
I want to get back to